other people that may get put in that situation. So, and then also we have a thing called SAAS, which is a group of people who help us as student athletes with our classes, like tutoring and helping us get work done, and helping us manage that workload that like student athletes get. So.
Like, how did the team rally around Coach Shelton during that really rough off season?
Yeah, well, you just know a coach like that, a man like that. I mean, he has so much respect from us, like, as a team, and I don't think that anybody on our team would ever turn our back on Coach, because honestly, like, he's like just been like such a great all-out man, like, to us, and I feel like none of us take that for like granted, and we want Coach to be our coach forever. Like, we want him to be at SC until like he decides that he's done coaching. So.
You guys have another tough slate of games earlier in the season this year, as you do kind of every year.
Yes.
But what's going to be the key this season to get off to a fast start?
Say confidence, toughness, and energy. So just have that confidence rolling and have that toughness to play through like injuries and nicks and bruises, and then just have that energy to finish games that maybe we didn't finish last year. So if we just keep that rolling, then I feel like every game we were this close. So if we can just take this and make it like this, then we're sitting like pretty good right now. So.
With your current skill set, you think you're ready for the next level?
See, I'm always confident, and I don't want it to come out the wrong way, but yes. I feel like I still have like a lot of stuff to work on, but I feel like I got what it takes. I feel like I'm like willing to work. I feel like there's no job that's like too small, like special teams, even like potential position change. I will do anything to like get on the field. I would do anything. So I'm willing to work.
Is there a certain matchup with a specific DB that you're looking forward to this year?
I wouldn't say that, because I don't like to single guys out. That's like never been me. And I'm really bad with names, so I couldn't even name one guy. But I mean, I'm just looking forward to playing every game, and I'm looking forward to playing in the Coliseum and making plays.
This being your last year in college, is there like an emotional component knowing that the first game is going to be your first game of the season?
Absolutely, and I feel like that's what's driven me to take that next step. So maybe like working harder than I've ever worked before, just knowing that I don't get another shot at this, and this is my last chance. So I'm trying to check every box and just make sure that I can't say like what if, because that's like the worst thing to have, is that what if. The Rose Bowl is by far my favorite game ever. Just like the feeling of that like confetti falling and the clock hitting zero and the field goal going right in, and I will never ever I would never forget that game ever. So that's something that I'll carry with me forever.
How do you feel about the idea of potentially having to play morning games this season?
I mean, I'll play morning, night, I'll play at 3 a.m., I'll play at 12 p.m. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, whenever there is a chance to play ball, catch me right there. So.
I don't know if anyone asked this already, but how are you feeling wide receivers and quarterbacks coach?
I feel good. I feel like JT knows and the quarterbacks know that they can like rely on me like as a target, and I think that they have confidence in me, and I have confidence in them to give me the ball. So.
And how do you feel about all the other wide receivers, like the core?
Oh, I feel like we're like the best receiver core. I feel like we have straight guys and guys who are gonna go on and play at the next level. And I'm just really like excited that I get to play with such a great group because they're like gonna free me up. So then maybe like I like could look good, and then maybe so like I'm getting doubled, so they like can look good. So basically you can't cover everybody. It's just not gonna happen. So.
Do you think we'll see more of Devin Williams this year?
Absolutely. Devin has done a great job with workouts, and I feel like he's a guy that people are gonna know about. And I'm just super excited for him and everything that he will do.
Michael, how would you describe the vibe of the program?
The vibe of the program, I would say that we're upbeat and we're just straight grinding right now. So we don't really mess around much now. Like we're more like straight grinded. Weight room, like we're like weight room heavy right now because maybe we did lack a little bit of strength last year. So I feel like we're making up for that this year, and I feel like we're going to come out and be a much stronger team than we were last year.
Well, and what is it like to go through a year like that based on USC's history and tradition?
I mean, it sucks because when people think of SC, like they think of greatness, and not living up to that expectation obviously isn't good. So just being at USC in like a year like that, like other players are kind of like looking at you like, hey, like what's going on? So I don't want to be that guy that people are looking at like you let SC fall. So I'm doing anything and everything.
How do you feel about the DBs with a lot of guys like Biggie and Marvell leaving?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of young blood there and a lot of guys that were hurt last year.
Yeah.
So throughout spring, who stood out to you as stepping up a lot there?
I feel like we shouldn't have too much of a problem with that because I feel like even in our last game, like you saw Chase step up, you saw even Jordan McMillan step up, and he had a pick. So from a freshman walk-on DB, I mean, like that's like something special. So I feel like we have a group of young guys. We got Isaac. I feel like OG is a guy, Greg, and we got some other young guys coming in, Chris, that are all like competing for that spot. So it's kind of like up for grabs, and pretty much anybody is fair game. So.
Also, speaking of Chris and Brew again, what are your thoughts on the whole waiver process? Do you think they'll be able to play just from your gut, or?
Honestly, that's like nothing that I can control. But obviously, like it would be nice if like they could play. Like it would help us. But that's like a Pac-12 deal. That's a college official deal. So yeah, NCAA, thank you. So. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a gut feeling one way or another?
No. I mean, because I don't want to say something and then be wrong, because then, 50-50 chance, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
You talked about former players being like, you don't want to be the person to let USC down. Did you actually hear from former players saying like, what's going on? Why aren't you guys winning more?
Well,
Expressing frustration.
they're not gonna come and say it like straight to you like that, but you can kind of get a feel like when I'm talking to guys like who were great, like Reggie, Mark Sanchez, Matt Liner. Like it's just hard to even talk to those guys who were there in such a great era of like USC, and I don't want it to be like that. Like I want them to be like, good job, like the season went great. Like I don't want to be talking about, hey, like what's like what's changing this year so last year doesn't happen again. So hopefully after this year, like we'll like be talking about like how good how good SC was. So like was as in this coming up season.
So you have this feeling like you want to make those guys proud.
Yes, absolutely.
Have you heard a lot from any of them, from Nelson Aguilar or Marquise Lee, the old receiver group?
Oh yeah, I feel like Juju and Nelly come back more because I feel like they're younger and they know more of the coaching staff. So, because like I like don't go back to Oaks Christian because I don't know the coaching staff either. Like it's kind of weird, but so those guys like come back more and they like just drop tips and just telling us like what's what and like what we can expect at the next level. So I really appreciate those guys for that, and yeah.
I know earlier today you answered the question with your favorite USC receiver is Mike Williams, but if you had to pick a guy who you maybe modeled your game the most after, who would it be?
Like just USC receivers or just anybody?
Overall.
I would say. See, I don't model after one guy, but I take pieces from everybody because I can't be that guy because only he can be him. But I'm talking like Julio Jones because he's so snappy and explosive in and out of breaks. I would say Mike. I would say that Mike Evans is like another big guy that he's just straight a big body, like bully type. And I would say that Brandon Marshall is like one of the more crafty, like smart guys that like I've seen, and I'm not sure if he's still playing. I think he's done, but I'm just talking about like his Jets tape and his Bears tape. Like he was serious. So he's also like one of my all-time favorites.
You guys might have one of the best wide receiver cores in USC history. How do you think it stacks up in not just USC but around the country?
I think that we have the best guys, and I'm confident that we can play with anybody else. And I feel like the only reason that we might not be up with like the other teams like Clemson and Bama is because we didn't have a good season last year. But if we have a good season last year, like I think that we're right there with them, if not over them. So I'm always confident like in our guys and what we can do, but I'm not trying to take anything from them because obviously like they're a great team, national championship every year, but I think that we're the best.
And then obviously for a while there, like a lot of guys were maybe leaving, now they're back. How did that all play out just for you?
For me, like I just kind of sit back because really that doesn't like that really doesn't involve me because players are just looking for ways to like extend their college career and just their playing career. So if they feel like they can do it better at like another program, then I like wish them the best and hope that they play as long as they can play. So there's no like bad blood with that. Like we don't not like guys because they leave because they're just looking for what somebody else has.